Saturday, February 3rd. Well, when Uncle Joe and Aunt Peg Serino came up to our house to visit sometimes, they'd bring a few of the kids. They had a lot of kids, so they only brought a few each time. And this time, it was probably early February 1964, and they brought along Mary Aggie, the oldest girl in the family, and my cousin Joey Serino. And, well, as soon as they got there, Mary Aggie went with my sister Terry up to Terry's room. They were going to do teenage girl talk or something. They closed the door. And Joey came down into the cellar, where I was working at Walt's workbench on monster models. You see, Aurora, famous Monsters of Hollywood series, they had everything. They had a model for Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Mummy, Phantom of the Opera, and all that sort of stuff. And you'd get the model, and there'd be instructions, and you get some airplane glue, which I kind of think made us high while we were putting it together. And you'd also get like little bottles of oil paint to make them lifelike. And I had done all of that, but now I was doing something different. I was showing Joey that I cut a box open halfway so it looked like a little scene in there, and I was building a little Frankenstein's laboratory and putting the Frankenstein model together differently so he'd be laid out on the lab table where they made him. And Joey looked at it. He said, yeah, this does look kind of like the movie. But you know what, Chucky? If you don't use the colored paint, just use black and white paint, it would be better because then it would look the way the movie is. The movie's in black and white. It would look just, wow. I hadn't thought about that. Wow, that's an idea. So we went upstairs and, well, in the kitchen, my mom, Tessie, and Aunt Peg were laughing and telling stories about their growing up together. And over in the living room, we heard Uncle Joe talking to my dad, Walt. And Joey and I sat on the bottom step of the staircase and we were listening. And Uncle Joe was talking about, well, the Kennedy assassination, which had happened 3 months earlier. And he was saying, Walter, I feel it. I feel it. This country is still in mourning. I mean, Johnson is a good man. He's a good president. I'll give him that. But having lost Kennedy, the way we lost him, Walter, I feel it. We did not protect our president. We all feel that. There may have been one shooter or a dozen shooters. It doesn't matter. We did not protect our president. He protected us. He kept the Russian warheads out of Cuba. He was working on the Voting Rights Act. He was a good man, Walter, and well, we're still in mourning. I don't know how we're ever going to get out of this. I don't see how we're going to get over this loss, Walter. And right about then, we heard upstairs in Terry's room, her monograph record player was cranking along. She was playing her new 45s, playing a song, a couple of songs that this English group, they wanted to hold your hand and they loved you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Joe just kept saying, I don't know how we're going to get out of this. Yeah. Well, we'll do another one tomorrow. See you then.